Welcome to a brand new series where I'm probably never going to do a video in it ever again, but I'm starting it anyway. And it's called Things I Don't Get, or more like Things I Don't Understand, something like that. And the entire point, the entire purpose of this series is for me to talk about very popular TV shows, games, movies that lots of people love, but I just don't get it. Not that I think the movie that I'm talking about, for example, is shit and I don't know why anyone likes it in the first place. Not like that. Although, to be honest, that might actually be the reason that I make the video in some cases. Just things that I can't get behind or have never been able to get behind. Now, you might be wondering, well, why don't you just Google things if you don't understand them? Why don't you just figure it out on your own? And yes, I could do that, but it's more fun to make a video and have you explain it to me. We're starting this series off with CounterStrike. Now, I don't think this game is bad or anything like that, but there's just a lot of things that I see about Counter-Strike that I just don't understand. And recently, Counter-Strike 2 released, which is the whole reason I'm making this video in the first place. I think the thing I'll talk about the most in this video will be the loot boxing and the opening knives and then reselling them for real money and shit. Some of them being worth thousands. Oh, whoa, what the fuck was that? That was like a half sneeze. I swear that was a real sneeze. At one point, at least. I think I fucking cancelled it halfway through. Now my throat's hurting as well. Damn. Yeah, I think the loot boxing and opening knives, and then you can resell those knives, and some of them are worth thousands of pounds and dollars. I don't get that in the slightest, because I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in a game before. Like, yeah, lots of games have loot boxes, but I mean, I don't think I've ever seen unboxing something and then being able to sell that thing that you get for thousands of real money. I don't think I've ever seen that. In-game coins like FIFA and shit, FIFA Ultimate Team, yeah, but real money? I don't think I've ever seen that, unless you can give me another example. But we'll talk about that later on in the video, because I think that's what I'll be talking about for the longest. But let's start off from the very beginning, because there's a few key things that I don't really understand about the games itself. Counter-Strike has been going on for well over like 2 decades at this point or something. And there's multiple main games in this series. I believe there's Counter-Strike, Counter-Strike Source, CSGO, and then Counter-Strike 2, which released just a few weeks ago. Now, I thought this was like a series in a way where, like, you know, a new game comes out and it has all these brand new maps and brand new mechanics and whatnot. But I seen a video about Counter-Strike 2, and apparently a lot of professionals of CSGO don't like it. And someone responded to their comment saying, why don't you just go back to CSGO then? And from what I've read in the comments, you can't go back and play the older games because you can only play the most current one. So when a new game comes out, it kind of replaces the old version. That is the first thing I don't understand, if that is true. A game that has been out for over a decade that people love, like CSGO, I don't know like if it's a perfect game or anything, but I know people fucking love that game. I know it's huge competitively. I know people love that game. You release a new game in the same series, but instead of just like keeping the old one there, you remove it? Like, what? Why would you? What if people don't like the new one? They have no option to go back. Now, here's the other thing that I don't understand, and this might be the reason why they don't let you play the old version when a new one comes out. I thought each new game in this series was a brand new, you know, huge, massive overhaul of Counter-Strike. It brought loads of new maps and weapons and stuff. But I seen a video that was comparing graphically a map and the same weapons in all 4 of the main Counter-Strike games. So is each new game just a graphical update? Is it the same exact maps every time with the same weapons? Is it the, like, what is it? Is it supposed to be a massive update, or is it just like a graphical thing? Because every video I've seen about Counter-Strike 2 so far, all these clips and whatnot, yeah, I seen this like cool grenade throw where they throw a grenade across the map, like they set it up and they throw it and it lands in a specific spot, and people in the comments were like, yeah, this has been a thing for like 10 years. And I'm like, well, like, is it just the same game with a graphical update then? And that might be if that is true, that might be the reason why they just get rid of the old version, because then there's 2 of the same game. One might play better though than the other. Now, onto the big thing, loot boxing. I seen this video from XQC a few days ago. It was on TikTok, and it was a video of him opening knives, like opening these loot boxes, and I guess you can get weapons and knives and skins and stuff like that. And it was just putting the value on the screen of what the things he was opening were worth, and it was like over $1,000 for a knife and shit. And I'm like, hang on a second, what actually makes this worth that much? That's the thing I just don't get. You know, it might be a cool looking skin, But is it an incredibly... Is there only like 50 on the planet or something that you can get? I just don't understand the limited quantity of these things, because that's the only way I can think of these things being worth that much. And look, 1,000 is not that much for a fucking knife in this game, I've realized. Yes, it's a lot of money, but apparently 1,000 is not that much for something that you can sell in CSGO. The next thing is, how do you even sell these for real money in the first place? Because again, I can't think of a game. I can't think of an example where like you can get something in a video game and then trade it for real money. I don't know if that part is official with Valve or if there's a third-party website everyone uses where you can list your knives for people and then they can buy it off you and you trade it with them in the game. Or maybe there is games that do this and I'm just not aware of it. I'm thinking FIFA for some reason, like Ultimate Team pulling players. Like, I know you can list players for in-game currency, but maybe there are also websites where you can trade, you know, where you can give a card to someone for real money. And another thing I don't understand, and this has nothing to do with CounterStrike, it's just XQC. Why is he getting hyped over these knives that are worth 1,000? Like, could he not just buy them? Didn't he get like a 100 million deal? But that is it. Like, that is my main thing with Counter-Strike that I just don't get. I just don't get this. I've never been into it. I've never gotten into Counter-Strike, and I never will, because I don't think it's the type of game that I would ever be good at. And I think with it being a bit more team-based and a bit more competitive, I would absolutely 100% guaranteed fill my teammates' hearts with a lot of disappointment when I fucking throw a grenade at a wall and it bounces back and hits me. That being said, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Definitely subscribe if you're new here. And we'll see if I ever do a video in this series ever again in the near future. That being said, I will see you all in my next video.